Today, we're talking about a battle of two iconic shoes. We've got the X Ultra 4 here, which is the previous rendition of the X Ultra mid hiking shoe that Salomon has perfected over the years, versus the new upgraded X Ultra 5. So same shoe, new model. Today we're gonna talk about where this one came up short and why they upgraded these things on the X Ultra 5. So if you want to learn more about that, stay tuned. So there are a few key differences and similarities between the X Ultra 4 and the X Ultra 5. So we're definitely going to talk about those durability upgrades, the new matrix system in the X Ultra 5, the multi-tiered chevron lug update in the X Ultra 5, and the new dynamic support and chassis that this shoe is going to be offering as well. Oh, that right there was a lot. So, the X Ultra 4 is a winner of a shoe no matter how you slice it. It's a shoe that was created for ultra comfort, ultra durability for someone putting on some long miles. So as far as the comfort and durability goes, in my opinion, the X Ultra 5 definitely wins out, and we'll talk about why, but you won't really notice it on your feet. Both of these shoes are very comfortable with a long distance hiking style in mind. So keep that in note. If you just bought the X Ultra 4s, there is nothing wrong with that at all. They're fantastic shoes. They're gonna get the job done. So don't fret about that for sure. The biggest difference when it comes to that comfort and durability are just the new changes in materials. So the reason they upgraded from the 4 to the 5 is there was a lot of reports of different blowouts in different situations, like along the top of this foot right here, in the toe cap, in the side by the pinkies. There was a lot of different blowouts when you were putting on a ton of miles. So again, that's why I wanted to urge you not to freak out if you had the X Ultra 4, but when it does come to durability and upgraded technical materials and position of the way they sew things and where they place things, the X Ultra 5 is definitely an upgrade. One of the big marketing focuses around this X Ultra 5 is that new matrix woven upper system. And what that does, again, is protect against those blowouts like we talked about in the X Ultra 4. It has that almost Kevlar-like material, so it's super light, super stretchy, but super durable. You can see that right here at the top of this shoe, almost like this shiny material that provides almost like that bulletproof structure on this shoe to stop those blowouts from happening. So the biggest difference here that we're going to talk about first that we just brought up is that matrix material. Definitely look a little bit more into that if you want to see why this shoe is better. Something else that people complained about on this X Ultra 4 was that the tread was flattening out very quickly if you were in a really rocky terrains. If you're hiking somewhere like the Pacific Northwest or somewhere really in California where there's a lot of trails made of granite where you're constantly walking on rock, maybe somewhere like the American Southwest desert where you're ripping around on sandstone a lot, the lugs on these shoes were really flattening out. The rubber was giving away really quickly, and people were noticing that they weren't having as good of traction for as long as they thought they needed. And when you're buying an expensive shoe, you want that tread to last. So with that in mind, that's another place where the X Ultra 5 succeeds and wins beyond the X Ultra 4. They increased the size and the depth of those Contagrip lugs. And throughout my testing so far, I've definitely noticed more traction. So far here in Toledo, I've been using these in our local metro parks. It's been pretty snowy, wet, and icy this year. So I've had a lot of opportunity to wear these in different muddy conditions, but then also on just cement trails that are pretty rough, and have really tried to rub and break these shoes down. And I've noticed that the lugs still look pretty solid. So that's something that I have personally noted. The durability and construction of the X Ultra 5 is definitely a step up over that X Ultra 4. So when it comes to the chassis of these shoes, that thing that really goes around your foot and supports and hold your shoes in, They both have that dynamic, traditional Salomon chassis. They both have the same lacing situation. So there's not a ton of differences there in the way that this shoe supports your foot. There were a few minor tweaks to those systems, again in the X Ultra 5, just to really dial in and perfect this shoe. Just little tweaks with the positioning of the laces and the sewing, but at the end of the day, that chassis is really, really similar, and I don't think most people outside of shoe designers are gonna notice a difference in that. So at the end of the day, you're probably watching this video thinking, do I need to upgrade to the X Ultra 5 if I've already got the 4? So let's talk about who might need to do that. If you are a serious long distance hiker or backpacker, you know, I'm not talking about somebody putting on 5-10 miles every weekend, somebody just casually hiking through their parks. But if you're a backpacker, you know, somebody doing a lot of through hiking, and you want a shoe or need a shoe that's gonna provide a ton of support and stability, if you have bad ankles, if you have, you know, a little bit of a unstable like walking gait, you might want to upgrade to this X Ultra 5. Again, if you're putting on a ton of miles. If you've got a trip coming up where you're gonna be doing the PCT, the AT, or any of the other large through hikes, and you have the X Ultra 4, it might be worth upgrading to that X Ultra 5 if this is the shoe you've decided to go with for your trip. Who doesn't need to upgrade? Like I said, you know, if you're a casual weekend hiker, you're getting out in your local park or just getting on a hiking trip to a national park maybe once a year, the X Ultra 4 is still a phenomenal shoe, and it's gonna get the job done in all of those situations. So, you know, we talked about the kind of Kevlar-like coating around the toe cap in the front of the shoe. We talked about the deeper lugs. We talked about the reconstruction of the chassis. Overall, just better materials. If you're looking for a shoe that's gonna keep you, you know, supremely comfortable and happy on the trail while providing a really high level of you know, comfort, durability, support, all of those things you're looking for in the shoe, those major 4 upgrades to the X Ultra 5 are really worth it, because you're gonna be using your shoe. You might get a new shoe every 3, 4, 5, 6 months if you're this type of person. And if you are doing a lot of weekend backpacking, long distance trips, or getting into some through hiking, you're definitely going to need a new shoe way more frequently. So you might as well just upgrade to the X Ultra 5 and have that shoe be better for you right away. Both of these models are fantastic, but if you're craving a more rugged, more durable, lightweight package, the X Ultra 5 is the clear winner. If you want to save a little bit of money, the X Ultra 4 is a good way to go. You know, this shoe will probably continue to be discounted further and further over the next 3 to 4 years until they run out of stock. But best bang for your buck shoe that's going to last you longer will be the X Ultra 5. You know, again, we talked about how the X Ultra 4 is blowing out in the toes. There's some issue with the lugs. So again, definitely worth the upgrade on the X Ultra 5. It's a clear winner in my opinion. And after my using of this shoe here over the last couple of months, it really is more comfortable and it really is more durable. So I would say clear winner here on the X Ultra 5. If you want to check out either one of these shoes, head on over to ridgeandriver.com to see what we've got left. We're really running out of these X Ultra 4s at this point. They're going pretty quick. I think I'm looking at the boxes right now, and we've only got like maybe 10 pairs left. So if you want a pair of these, go pick them up. They're live on the website right now. And these shoes, the X Ultra 5s, they launched today, April 1st. If you head on over to our website, you can be one of the first people in the country to get your hands on this shoe. So definitely something to be excited about if you're a gear nerd that wants to have the most updated, newest technology. So head on over to our website, pick yourself up a pair of shoes. And if you ever have any issues with the way any of your footwear is fitting, you know, from a hiking boot to a climbing shoe, ski boot, snowboarding boot, come into the store. You know, it's really good to support your local gear shops and give those people the time that they deserve, because they're there to perfectly fit your footwear. They're there to perfectly dial in that shoe so you're comfortable on your adventure. So come down to our store in Toledo, Ohio, or make sure to hit up your local gear shop to get yourself right for your next trip. As always, thank you so much for watching this gear comparison. If you are interested in any more shoes in the Salomon lineup, click these links in the upper corners of the video, wherever Connor's gonna put these things. I'm not sure, but click it, go watch more. Definitely check us out on our socials, and thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the trails. Later.